names are Otumba Jafar Mamadou Braimo, born here in Nigeria, hailed from Edo State, had my first degree at the University of Ibadan, Oyo State, BSc in Agricultural Economics. Later went to the United Kingdom where I had my master's degree. I am married and I am into shipping and maritime. I manage vessels. I am a broker for vessel procurement, and we are into spare parts and engineering in oil and gas equipment. Continuing with my professional career as an individual, I started my early life with Arthur Andersen through having to serve my NYSC, the mandatory 1-year service after graduating in Nigerian universities with Central Bank of Nigeria, the Tinubu Lagos chapter. I served in the Department of Agricultural Credits and Finance, where we give credit to small and medium scale farm enterprises. That really exposed me to having to meet different kinds of people who are managing small and medium scale businesses in the poultry, piggery, farming, annual and cash crop. And because that is my educational qualification in the University of Ibadan as a BSc holder in agricultural economics, I was able to quickly interact and discuss credit facilities that has to do with their cash flow needs, the request for them to be able to buy seedlings, planting, harvesting, and how to eventually get their produce to the end user. So with CBN, that was when I started to think about myself as who am I and what value should I start to do as a human being. So immediately after my NYSC with CBN, I joined Arthur Andersen. Arthur Andersen is an audit firm and they were based in Victoria Island, Adetukumademola. I joined them as a trainee office manager. From there, they seconded me to a company from the USA that are into seismic data analysis here in Nigeria. I was the office general manager, the only local staff. So I was basically managing the office for the expatriates. They were into seismic data analysis where they threw dynamites into the oil rigs to be able to know the depth, the width, and the quality of Nigerian oil. And all those experiences from farming to seismic analysis and managing an office for expatriates really made me to feel good and know that I am being prepared for something big into the future. After the brief work with Arthur Andersen, working with Landmark Graphics as their office general manager, I moved on to the UK where I've spent 27 years now. And from there, I went for my master's degree to do master's in public administration. And I've taken all kinds of positions after my master's in public administration. I've taken positions in logistics, moving cargo from one end to the other. I've had to do international trade where I synergize Nigerians in diaspora to bring their equipment, their cargo, their back and forth to Africa and to Europe. We have had to move vehicle and heavy-duty equipment for leasing companies around and about. So I've been juggling around and I've really done a lot of things regarding career prospects. While in the UK, I went on my second Hajj to Saudi Arabia in Medina. I met an elderly man called Alhaji Shudaindi in my second Hajj, and there we fellowship together in the Holy pilgrimage, and he got a liking into me. He approached me that he wants me to be a general manager for his shipping and maritime company. And I said to myself, why do I want to leave the UK and come down to work in Nigeria? But on the second thought, I said, well, that will be fun. Let me go about to tell my wife, and then we'll see how it goes from there. So after the Hajj, I went back to the UK. I told my wife that this is who I met in my second Hajj, and this is the offer he had offered me. To cut a long story short, it came to pass. I became a general manager of West Coast Shipping Nigerian Limited here in Nigeria. I was a general manager. It was a big eye-opener. All in my lifetime, I've never had anything about shipping and maritime. All the things I knew about shipping and maritime was in geography, where somebody founded River Niger and River Benue, whatever. And then, but until I now realized that there are massive vessels that moves crude up and down, moves product up and down. They are crewing. There are all kinds of things in shipping and maritime. And I said, wow, this is where I should be. This is what I should have been doing. There's so much money in it. It's a high net worth industry. And so also is the risk in the industry. There I started to tutor under my able chairman, Alhaji Shodende, and I had a lot of synergy with my peer managers, where I learned a lot of things. There's a particular mentor that I met at the organization that radically turned my life around. His name is Engineer Moses Oloro. He literally turned the whole of shipping and maritime industry, the nooks and corners of coconuts, and everything that has to do with shipping and maritime, turned it upside down for me to know what is called shipping and maritime. So I tutored under him. I learned a lot. He's a practical engineer. He leads and others follow. He takes decisions. He's a role model, and that I really, really envy. That really energized my career in the shipping and maritime industry. And so that's how I came about coming back to Nigeria. While I was in Nigeria, whenever I go back to the UK on my holiday, my friends in the UK are asking me, why are you working in Nigeria? That place where there's no life, no good roads and everything. And I realized that they are the ones that actually doesn't know what is happening in Nigeria. And Nigeria is a virgin where you can do and create and become something, because it's heavily underdeveloped. So when I came back to Nigeria, back to work as the general manager, a thought crossed my mind. I said, I need to do something to let those people back in the UK know that there's something happening in Nigeria. They are wasting away in the developed country, but Nigeria is heavily underdeveloped. The idea of Nigerian British in diaspora pop up into me. I now called my wife. My wife was very excited. I called her in the UK, and my wife called me back after about 2 hours. That why are we going to limit it to Nigeria British? That why don't we say Africa British in diaspora? And that is why when you have a wife, two heads are better than one. So it was my wife's idea, and it is his name, the name that he gave the NGO, African British in Diaspora Returning to Organization. As soon as I perfected that, as a religious person, I prayed over it. The next day I was on the phone with my lawyer. He was hitting the CAC to try and find the name so that we can quickly register it. And to the glory of God, it came to pass. That's how it came about, African British in Diaspora Returning to Organization. And in that forum, I started chunking out reason why Nigerians in diaspora who are legitimate, who are documented, who have been expired. The word expired because they have been there, they have British and European nationals, but they are spent. They are defranchised. They don't know what else to do. They are into security, they are into bus driving, and they are into all sorts of things that ordinarily they could have been able to add more value if they had come back to the African country. And they are not going to be stuck there anyway because they have dual nationality. So I started using the forum to start to empower, disseminate training information, and because it is what you know and what the other person doesn't know. That information gap is the difference between somebody who is successful and the person who is not successful. So, because they don't know what's happening here in Nigeria, I was able to start to disseminate such information through the African British Diaspora Returnees charity organization, which we created. And we have done so much information, intelligence, sensitizing, telling Nigerians in diaspora about the opportunities back here in Nigeria, in Africa. We have done door-to-door, community-to-community, society-to-society, town hall meetings, and we have met a lot of people. People are heavily energized. However, the fear still remains. When they come down, most of them don't have a home, and the home some have has become hostile, because back here, people think the minute you have gone abroad and you are coming back, you have probably brought the queen herself. And so you really need to fight for your survival coming here as well, even with your own immediate families. So there's this challenge. So the African British Diaspora Returnees Organization becomes a a facilitator, whether you need an accommodation, a hotel to be, a career to come and do here, how to integrate you back into the society, and the fact that you are coming from an organized, civilized society to developing country called Nigeria. The opportunities that are available to you, whether you're an accountant, lawyer, whatever profession you have been, you will find opportunities there. As long as you are not proud, you are ready to come down to their level and eventually grow with the society. There is so much abundance in the industry of naturalization, and so the anchor of the NGO is immigration, migration, and immigration. The African British Diaspora Returnees Organization, the benefits to the ordinary person and to Nigerians in general is it creates an avenue where you can be part of the big voice in the international sense, where you can be heard, your own little murmuring can be echoed through the organization. Your aspiration, your desire, your ingenuity to be human and add value to humanity, your creativity that ordinarily would have been pushed aside, but through the NGO we can escalate you. We can do a synergy through various social media where you meet your counterpart in the other part of the world and you start to discuss how you can take yourself out from your level to the next level. So it actually brings a sense of belonging, that you belong to an international organization where you can meet people in the likes of UNICEF, UNESCO, USAID, WaterAid, and all kinds of NGO, the international one. And we are positioning ourselves in the African British Diaspora Returnees Organization when this big organization eventually have a project back here in Africa. They will be looking for the most vibrant, the most active local NGO that they can trust to work with, because these international NGOs are not going to be resident. They will bring technology, they will bring manpower, they will bring technical know-how, but they will need the local content to be able to continue maintain. So it will be a project for the people, by the people, for the people, and the people will be able to continue to manage it. So it will be an appraisal to know whether they are in conformity with best standard of practice that the international NGO would like. So the benefits of African British Diaspora to an ordinary person cannot be overemphasized. It goes a long way to knowing so many things that ordinarily you would have never thought of. Our motto is that we are going to exceed United Nations in the affairs of humanity. To become a member of African British Diaspora Returnees Organization is not limited to any features that you are. Just be able to read and write. You do not need to have any qualification. However, you need to be enthusiastic. You need to be an extrovert. You need to be somebody who is a go-getter. Let's go there. Let's do this. Let's do that. You cannot be reclining. You cannot be an introvert to be able to want to add value to humanity. So the criteria is somebody who is determined, willing to get his or her inner happiness or her inner wish and a desire to grow and explode and add value to humanity. So we create that platform for that person. So we don't have a set rules and terms and conditions for what you, as long as you can read and write English, and you can and you want to belong, you want to escalate yourself, and then you want to reach out to the wider world generally. Whatever you are doing, whether you want investors, whether you want mentorship, whether you want career counseling, we are there to guide you. So we do not need any specific criteria as long as you are ready to move up the ladder. To the NGO, African British in Diaspora Returns Organization, in the last 10 years that we have conceptualized the idea, it's been money from myself and my co-founder, my wife, my lovely, beautiful wife, Yeye Ushola Brimo, my better half, the love of my life, and the mother of my beautiful children. It's been us together that had been funding the NGO. It is that until now because of the kind of situation we are in Africa and in Nigeria generally. The reason is that an average Nigerian wants unemployment, is underfed, undernourished, and so you cannot ask him to bring money to a cause that he still cannot perceive very well. A hungry man is an angry man, and so not until he's engaged in a proper employment where he earns salary, you are not going to ask him to pay for it. So, however, in our website, our source of revenue is through membership fee, and we have a protocol for our membership. We have country managers for all the 56 countries in Africa, where we designate them as country manager. I think the minimum annual membership fee for such members is about $100 per annum. Then it breaks down, and we are using Nigeria as a pilot project for the rest of Africa. It trickles down to the governors of each state. Those ones pay $80 annually per governor for the entire membership fee for the year. It trickles down to the state, to the local governments, and each local government that are represented pays $50 per annum as membership. That is what we have in our constitution and in our website as our source of revenue. Now, aside from that, we know as we move up in the things of humanity and we start to add value to people's life, to corporate bodies' life, to humanity, the only way to receive is to continue to give as a serial giver. And we are sowing seeds, and that's why even when we have not started to reap any benefit, we have not started to make any money. Right now, we are not collecting any membership fee from anyone. I want to do our 10th year anniversary first before we will now put emphasis on collection of membership fee. When we do the needful, by default, those that are blessed, those that found us worthy, will contribute, even when we probably don't know some of them. And they are multinationals there are international bodies that you can find that are supporting NGO. But before they can support you, you must have a profile of what you have done in your own little way as a literary and debating society, because our NGO is about social awareness. It's not about providing water or training children, or for eye or ear or physical challenge NGO. But ours is a social migration NGO, where it has to do with integration, migration, immigration, and immigration. And until now, that we are beginning to add 2 brands of the NGO, where we are encouraging Europe Economic Summit, where well-entrenched businesses in Nigeria, in Africa, that wants to propagate their business, and we find corresponding exhibitions in Europe, we will invite them, and there will be a facilitator. We will do embassy to embassy. It's all legit. We are not going to procure visa to anyone, but we will be a facilitator to let you know that there's an exhibition taking place somewhere. If you perfect your documents and get your visa, we will have you picked up at the airport. You go to see the exhibition, you'll find an investor, and we will return you back to Africa. And in contrary to that too, we have foreign direct investors and technology transfer to Africa, where we look for the Westerners who are rich and heavily endowed and are willing to come to Nigeria to intervene in our farming, in our computing, in our IT, in our medical, in our education. We encourage them through our embassy. They get visas as well. We look for similar exhibitions taking place here. We bring them down. We integrate them with the necessary authorities. They get to know what they have to do. So it's a two-way flow of traffic. We encourage businessmen here to meet exhibitions that are taking place in Europe and in America, and we encourage the Westerners that want to come to Africa, who wants to bring foreign direct investments, who wants to bring technology, and who want to invest here. And you'll be amazed if you go to African embassies in the world, how queue of Westerners that have bags of money and technology that they want to invest. But this time around, because of the 21st and 22nd century coming up now, everybody is going to position themselves. This time around, if they come, it's going to be sitting down on the table, and we're all educated, and we will now discuss in a gentleman agreement where it will not be super sub relationship, but it's going to be gentleman agreement where technology and education and foreign direct investment will be transferred, and everybody will make money. And this is the kind of things that the African British in Diaspora Economics Organization stands to do. Foreign direct investments into Nigeria and Africa generally is a must and a serious cardinal cornerstone of what we have decided to do in this 22nd century. Employment and empowerment is no longer enough for our teeming African population, and so there must be a drastic effort to ask the West that are willing to come and invest here to come down with capital and technology and technical know-how. And that is what we have in this my leaflet, where we have enumerated the foreign direct investment and technology transfer from the Westerners to African countries, and we made Nigeria as a pilot project. The whole idea is that Nigeria and Africa are still in the teething stage. even when we are at par 50 years ago with the likes of Singapore, Malaysia, and China. I remember about 20 years ago when I got to the UK, when you go to any grocery shop, you'll find Help China, and you find a small piggy bank where you put your coins to help China that are starving. And after about 10 years after that, China went into the space with nuclear technology. And then you'll be wondering what happened that the Africans did not learn. The same way that we were all looking upon the West, that was how China was looking to the West. But China has overtaken everything, and so an average African man is always waiting to be told virtually everything he has to do, to the extent of how to eat, and not only how to eat, they want people to feed them, and so that cannot be possible. So through this program, we are trying to drive down that you can be yourself. When people come with technology, capital, and technical know-how, you must be a participant. You cannot just continue to consume all this capital, technology, and technical know-how. If not, if you are just at the receiving end, when they go back, you'll be back to square zero. So we are positioning ourselves through this foreign direct investment where they will work with our teaming graduates. They will train them up in the equipment that they are bringing down, and they will take over from the foreigners. And the foreigners will be able to repatriate their invested capital after a period of time. African British in Diaspora Returns Organization, even when we launched this foreign direct investment and technology transfer and the Europe Economic Summit, it tends towards a business entity. And of course, any business entity has at the bottom line profit making. And when you start to make profit, you can't go it alone. The kind of profit that we are looking at is a profit that takes away poverty and sorrows for life. And so that kind of monumental profit is not something that you want to do alone. So invariably, there is so much room for partnership from landowners for the agriculture, for partnership from school owners, for the foreigners to bring technical know-how and turn our kind of school around. Because the kind of education we are receiving here now, the world has moved on from knowing 2 plus 2 is 4. It's a different ball game now. It's a practical education in the academic zone. It's not where you have to read a particular subject, memorize it, and just go to the exam and return it there, and you have a distinction. And when you find yourself in the real life situation, you are unable to excel because you were not trained properly for the kind of education that is valid and current in today's market. So there is room for partnership. We are asking Nigerians in whatever businesses they are doing, they should seek African British in Diaspora Returns Organization in partnership to do this foreign direct investment and technology transfer to Nigeria, and also to be part of the Europe Economic Summit, where we will all be together in this seminar, trade shows, and exhibitions. So it's a win-win. There is enough room for partnership, and we welcome all manners of synergy, JVs, and memorandum of understanding. In African British Diaspora Returns Organization, there are prospects for volunteers, members, where they don't necessarily have to hold executive position, but they are there. They are listed, they are on our website, we know them, they have been verified, our data is well known to us. is kept away in our database, and they are serious-minded people that are going about their businesses, but waiting for an opportunity to entertain a project which we have on hand. Now, on our website, we have a program in one of the links where volunteers can upload our form or fill out a volunteer form online, and we will be able to get it, and we will customize and profile these volunteers. So opportunities for volunteers are there, and so also is the benefit. The benefit is that we are always in optimism that international NGOs like UNESCO, United Nations, USAID, AU will someday bring big projects to this part of the world, in Nigeria particularly. And once these projects are on ground, they will need local content, and the local content are going to be our volunteers who are the foot soldiers, because the position holding executives might not be available to physically attend to this project, regardless of what the project is. It could be a borehole project, it could be empowerment project, it could be educative project, it could be road project, but they will need a local content, so that these volunteers are the ones that will navigate the international NGO project through areas to take to avoid landmines in terms of cultural intimidation, custom, tradition, which different vary in Nigeria, where even when we know that we have like three major tribes, the Igbo, Hausa, and Yoruba, however, we have over 50 sub-cultural and tribes back in Nigeria. And so the prospect for volunteers and the benefit is very, very entrenched in our constitution and on our website. African British in Diaspora Returnees Organization has well-established contact office in abroad, because the NGO is duly registered with the British Company House, and also duly registered here in Nigeria with CAC in Abuja, and duly registered with Wango in New York. So it's an international NGO, and on our website we will see the address. However, for the UK address, we have this as 213B Evelyn Road, Clapton, London, and the postcode is E58AL. And for our main offices here, we have a couple of offices here in Nigeria. Very soon we are going to open our Omole office, where we have our 4-star hotel, and we are proudly going to have an office with our proud media partner, Coded TV, as well, where we will be receiving inquiries and requisition about membership through our media partner space. African British in Diaspora Returnees Organization wish to express our profound gratitude to all our members, to all our media partners, to all our travel agency partners, to all our sundry that had been members of the advisory board council, to all our chairmen, to all the people that had made the NGO what it is today. My advice and little mentorship to the Nigerians at large is that we have come to a crossroad in our lives where when you wake up and you think because you have a certain qualification about your education that will be able to take care of your needs, that is no longer the issue now. African British in Diaspora Returnees Organization has provided an opportunity where You can be whatever you choose to be. You do not have to be a job seeker. You do not have to wake up and say until you find somebody who's going to give you money before you can feed. You do not have to look upon anyone. You can be who you want to be without not having to leave the comfort of your academic life. My advice to the general public, both Nigerians here in Nigeria, where I am from, a lovely, beautiful country in the sub-Sahara of Africa, and to Nigerians in diaspora and Africa generally in diaspora, is to think about who you are, what you can do for yourself, what you can do for your nation, and not what your qualification can fetch you. Because the qualifications, the academic qualifications, is failing ourselves and our youth. African British in Diaspora Returns Organization has provided a platform where you can rediscover yourself, you can create a career, you can become who you dream about to become. You can do whatever you want to do. The world has become a global village. The leaders, the political leaders, are no longer chained, holding us down. We are free. This is the 22nd century. God said He created man in His own image. And that means we are small gods and we can do anything. If you have that mindset, you are welcome to the future. You are welcome to African British Diaspora Returns Organization, where everything is possible under the face of the earth.